The first man looked up and discovered the skies, imagined gods, and saw mysteries. While fighting for survival, made experiments and learned. From a contemplative silence, started to express himself, created symbols, developed writing, organized itself into communities. Those who came after continued, imagined, studied, communicated, and were discovering the cosmos. Until they managed to get to the moon.
E então, quando olhamos para baixo, nos encontramos em todos os lugares, não apenas em vilas, cidades ou nações, mas fazendo parte de um mundo único, globalizado.
And even in the vastness of the planet, we can see that, like with the fires of ancient times, the beacons of knowledge now pointed to the biggest and best universities of the planet, inclusively to our University of São Paulo. Recognized more and more each year, the USP has its quality expressed in the several rankings that highlight her as the most important teaching and research institute in Latin America, with a special place among the biggest and best in the world. Ciencia vinces. You'll win through science. The history of universities is the history of science, which is also the trajectory of human progress. It started to be written long ago, not as a science, but as a consequence of the practical learning by man and the transmission of its knowledge. Since those times, techniques, abilities, and instruments allowed the human being to progress. The civilizations would emerge and their legacy be left in a scattered, pulverized manner. But it was gathered and catalogued, systematized and epitomized by scribes, by Muslims, and the copyist monks. The knowledge finally came out of the monasteries to the cathedrals, from the field to the cities. It was between the 12th and 15th century that the chapter school of Notre Dame in Paris became one of the first universities where masters and graduates teach it in the papal model linked to the church. Another model, the imperial, emerged in Bologna, the college linked to nations. In England occurred another more independent formation. Oxford was born from the reunion of students who searched for masters in the medieval colleges and were staying in the halls built around, which served as residences for the students. Spain and Portugal, with help from the church, founded schools or general studies, such as Salamanca in 1213 and Coimbra, founded by Dom Dinis in 1219. In 1808, with the invasion of the Iberian Peninsula by Napoleon, the royal Portuguese family is forced to move away. The colonial Brazil, which receives them, is promoted to United Kingdom and achieved the permission to create our first college. It was only after Dom João went back to Portugal and Dom Pedro declared independence that on August 11 of 1827 emerged the Law College, the first college in the lands of São Paulo. It was followed by the Polytechnic School of São Paulo right after Dom Pedro II's demise. The Free Pharmacy School only appeared after the proclamation of the Republic, and the Superior School of Agriculture, Luiz de Queiroz, came up at the turn of the century, when Cecília Meirelles is born. And the College of Medicine appeared only in 1912, when the War of the Contestado begins. Brazil, who watched the First World War and felt the effects of the Great Depression, enters the decade of the 30s, demoting Washington Luiz, preventing Júlio Prestes from taking office, and putting Vargas into power. So finishes the Old Republic and the coffee and milk policy. This triggers the constitutionalist revolution of '32. In spite of an impressive social and economic mobilization, the revolution lasts only 87 days, with more than 2,200 casualties in the non-official statistics.
Aqueles que tinham, digamos, capacidade de liderar São Paulo, entenderam, bom, pelo caminho da força não vai. Nós vamos, quem sabe, pelo caminho do conhecimento. E fizeram a USP com esse propósito.
Júlio de Mesquita Filho, from the newspaper O Estado de São Paulo, and the interventor of the state, Armando de Sales Oliveira, believed that the creation of the university was the way to conduct society in the desired direction.
E os líderes aqui de São Paulo entenderam isso. E, de fato, houve essa possibilidade de vencer pelo conhecimento.
On January 25, 1934, the Decree 6283 was signed by Armando de Sales Oliveira, unifying the recently created College of Philosophy, Science and Arts with the already existing ones, the Polytechnic School of São Paulo, Superior School of Agriculture Luiz de Queiroz, Medicine Faculty, Law College, and Faculty for Pharmacy and Odontology. And so was born the University of São Paulo.
Está escrito no brasão da universidade: Ciência Vintes, vencerás pela ciência. E é com ela que temos vencido nesses quase 80 anos de nossa história. É esse o DNA que permitiu à USP atravessar essas 8 décadas sem perder de vista seus ideais. Pesquisar, ensinar e estender seus serviços à comunidade, ajudando a criar e implantar políticas públicas.
The path we travel on Earth, since the very beginning,